So this is a shout out to Powerplex, I think. Powerplex is on the Sunshine Coast, starting his or her new lawn care business on the 4th of January, which is tomorrow. I'm going to post this for you so that you see it. Congratulations on starting your new lawn care business. Full power to you. Sunshine Coast is a beautiful place, great place to start a business. Lots of lawns, they get a lot of rain. It's fantastic. You're going to have a great time. I wish you all the best. I hope you see this video and I hope it's useful to you. If you have any questions, hit me up down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to spend money when you're first starting out your lawn care business. Now, I'm going to start by saying, and I'm quoting Grant Cardone here, income solves problems. So with that premise in mind, this is how you should spend your money. Now, I want to keep in mind that I'm talking to the person who doesn't have much money to spend, very limited funds, and you need to use your resources really wisely, really efficiently to get the most, to get you through those tough initial stages and get you through to the next steps of your business. So that's the person I'm speaking to here. If you have a whole bunch of money, then that's great, and you can go out and you can buy all the nice equipment and you can throw a whole bunch of money into your business and into marketing and that sort of thing. But I would also suggest to that person, if you throw a whole bunch of money into something that doesn't work and in terms of marketing, then that is just as bad as if you don't put much money into marketing that doesn't work, because you're just spending more money on something that doesn't work. So it's really important in those early days of your business that the things you are doing work and produce income, because like I say, Grant Cardone says, income solves problem. So that is your priority in the early days, creating income. So with that in mind, I'm just going to talk about the basic equipment to buy. I've done another video on this. And so basically you need a line trimmer, you need a lawnmower, and you need a blower. And then the small things that go with that, okay? So you can do this very cheaply. Now, I used to buy off a guy who would fix up old mowers. I would buy like these $90, $100 secondhand mowers, and I would use them. They would last maybe like a month or something, or 3 months. Let's say 3 months. And then they would die, and I would buy another one. And that got me through kind of my first year of my first very small business back in the day. And I think that's a great idea. It does sometimes have some frustrations to do with buying secondhand equipment like that, but I think it's worth it. The first piece of equipment you want to buy new, it's your most important piece of equipment, is a line trimmer. I recommend, as soon as you can, investing in a good quality line trimmer, buying it brand new. They don't cost too much. Get any of the good brands, Stihl, Husqvarna, Honda, whatever choice you make, whatever you get sold on, go with that. They're going to be good for you, I'm sure. Whatever feels comfortable to you, go with that. It's okay to buy a cheap blower to start with. It's okay to buy a second-hand blower to start with. It's okay to buy second-hand equipment to start with. But the first piece of equipment I would buy new and invest in is that edger, because it's going to be your most important piece of equipment. And also it's the one that can have the most problems, the finicky little different parts and that sort of thing. And I would recommend that early on, the ones, for example, I use a Stihl FS55. It comes with whatever the standard spool is on that. I change that for what's called a speed feed. It costs about $50 for one of those. I think that's a great investment. It makes your job a whole lot easier. The line will feed much better, and you can you can feed it out much better, and it's going to just make your whole life a whole lot easier. So with that in mind, let's assume you have that equipment in place and you've spent the money on that. So now, any new money that comes into your business should be spent on marketing. So there's a lot of mosquitoes here. And I'll talk about that. I've built basically my whole business on delivering these very cheap little flyers to letterboxes. And that's built my whole business. It's worked really well, essentially. It's worked really well. And I did that for years, and I had a lot of success with it, built the business that I want, and that's worked well. Get a Google listing, all right? That's free to do that. Put that on the web so that people can find you maybe. They're probably not going to find you to start with, but go with that. Now, this is another thing. If you have the confidence to do this, go and knock on doors. I never ever did this. I just did flyers. But if you knock on doors, if you've got the confidence to do that, that's awesome. Go and do it, because that's free. All you're going to do is spend your time, and you should have time while you're starting your business early on, and hopefully you're quite motivated. So one thing aside from the marketing, which is an extra, and this is something that I would suggest you do very early on, is to invest in a computer system. All right, and that's software. So hopefully everyone's using a smartphone these days. Hopefully you can use the software on your phone. You should be able to. In fact, you can, let's face it. I would invest in a couple of items of software, right? And I didn't do this until actually quite recently in my business, and man, I would just wish I had done this earlier, because it's really like it took a lot of work to make the transition, because I had a whole lot of clients, and so I had to go through, learn the system, enter this whole thing, make changes for the clients so that they're getting invoices that look different, payment is different, all of these things, and it's just easier to do that right from the start, okay? So perhaps you go out and you find a client, a couple of clients, do a little bit of work. You need to use your money wisely, but getting a computer system and learning it early is a very wise use of that money, okay? It really doesn't cost much. I'm in Australia. I would love to use Service Autopilot, but it doesn't work in Australia with the accounting software. So you need your two softwares to sync up, okay? You need an accounting software. I use Xero for my business, and I've been pretty happy with that. That works, it works well, and it syncs up with the scheduling software I use, which is ServiceMate. And that's the important thing. Those two softwares must sync, so that there is a seamless transition between your accounting, your scheduling, and your invoicing, and your quoting, and also your marketing. So that's what I use. I'll do a review about ServiceMate later. There are a lot of things I'd like to talk about to do with that, but for now I'll just suggest whatever you can that works, and there's a lot of them. You can check them all out. They will usually give you a trial. Service Autopilot I don't believe does, but that is the top dog. You can go straight into that, and that's the best to use. I feel confident in saying that, even though I don't use it. I have gone through the introduction to that, learning it before then realizing it wasn't going to sync with the accounting software that we could use here, so unfortunately we had to let that go. So yeah, like I said, I'll do a review on that later, but invest in software early, okay? Learn the system, because there is a little bit of learning involved, but really it saves so many headaches for you later down the track. Your scheduling is permanently done. You want to do the job that eliminates 100 jobs, okay? So if you enter all of your jobs into, like we do into ServiceMate, doing that, setting your schedule, that eliminates a job forevermore. That is locked in. These clients are locked in the schedule. It all is all clean. It invoices from there. You can do quoting from there. You can do your marketing from there. And then of course your accounting, okay? If you're not doing this and you're sending out an invoice via Excel, which is what I used to do, I'd send an Excel invoice, and then people would pay into the bank account. If you're doing that, and I did not use accounting software, if you do that, you then have to manually, unless you get an accountant to do it, which of course is expensive and is not a wise use of your money in that way, then it's expensive. And if you're not doing that, then you're going to have to take care of that yourself, which is time consuming, difficult, and you just don't want to do that. You don't want the headache, okay? So I really highly recommend that very early on in your business you invest in software, which is going to eliminate a whole bunch of problems for you, tighten up your system, get your business off to the right track from the start. The great thing about it is if you learn it early, you invest in that early, it really is cheap, okay? We pay $20 a week, $80 a month for ServiceMate, and we pay $50 a month for Xero. So together that's about $32.50 a week, 30 bucks a week, okay? It's nothing, it's half a lawn. It is so worth it, okay? And it saves you so many headaches. And the great thing about it is if you invest in it early, you learn that system, you'll get used to the expense very quickly. And the thing is, once you invest in it, whether you have one client or say 100 clients, you will spend no more money for that software, okay? So it's just done. And you can grow your business up to being a decent sized business without spending any more money. So I highly recommend that. Everything else, you just want to pump all of the money that you make straight back into the business, into marketing it and finding more clients and getting more money, okay? And then when you have those clients, don't forget to ask them, look around when you're at their properties. Are there any other services you can offer to them, okay? Have a look when you're there doing their lawn. Have a look, do they have hedges that need trimming? Even weeding when you're starting out, do they have that? Do they need bushes that need trimming? Could you spray some weeds? All of that stuff, think about that stuff. What else could you do for these people? Because that is going to increase your sales and of course increase your income. And like I said at the start of this video, income solves problems. So your priority early on in business is to just continue reinvesting everything you make and everything that you can into that business. Okay, and I understand you have expenses and you need to meet those, but everything over and above, just pump it straight back into the business because it will pay off over time. And before you know it, you're going to have a business which has grown to a decent size, and that's a fantastic thing. So this video actually, I was supposed to do this at the start. Alright, I'm going to go back and do this again. I'm going to make an intro. Alright, I'm just going to forget about this whole thing. I'm just going to cut this whole thing. In fact, no one really watches to the end. I'm just going to let this part ride, and I'll go and make an intro and then do it again. Sorry to put you guys through this. Thanks for watching all the way to the end.